This one breaks up as square root of 4, square root of 3. Square root of 4 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Answer is B. On this one, it breaks up as square root of 4, square root of 2. So you'll have 9 times 2, square root of 2, which is C. This one breaks up as 4 and 5. So you'll have 6 times 2, square root of 5, which is 12. This one breaks up as 4 and 6. So that would be 3 times 2, square root of 6, which is D. Pick a number from 1 to 20 and bring it up. The winning numbers today are 6, 8, 10, 13, 19. Homework check. Must have all 15 of them done to get credit. 3 out of 7, 43%. Here are the answers. On number 1, it's going to be 6 plus square root of 6 minus 3 square root of 2 over 3. On number 2, it's 6 minus 2 square root of 6 minus 6 square root of 2 plus 12 square root of 3 over 3. And 3 is 20 plus 8 square root of 3 over 5 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 6 over 13. On number 4, it should be 9 minus 4 square root of 3 over 2. Notice that you end up with a couple of square root of 3's that can be simplified together. Also, 24 and minus 6 become 18. And then you can simplify further by, since they're all even here, cutting them down by 2. And then on number 5, you should have 90 minus 20 square root of 6 plus 27 square root of 3 minus 18 square root of 2 over 57. On number 4, we're going to multiply by, well, actually we're going to simplify first down here. The square root of 12 becomes 2 square root of 3. And then we multiply the top and the bottom by 4 plus 2 square root of 3. So on the top, you'd have 6 times 4, which is 24, and then 6 times 2 square root of 3, which is plus 12 square root of 3. And then move to the minus square root of 3. Minus square root of 3 times 4 is minus 4 square root of 3. And then minus square root of 3 times 2 square root of 3 is minus square root of 3 times square root of 3 becomes 3, and then times 2 is going to be the minus 6. You have 2 square root of 3's multiplied together. That gives you a 3. And then 3 times 2 here is 6. It had to be minus because this sign is minus, this is plus. Opposite signs give you a minus. On the bottom, 4 squared is 16, and then you'll have 2 squared is 4 times what becomes a 3 is 12. 16 minus 12 is 4. Now once you get to that point, you have 12 square root of 3 minus 4 square root of 3. 12 minus 4 is 8. So we'll have 18. And on this one, let's see, that's a plus. Yeah, that's a plus 12. I've covered it up with my red ink there. Let's see if I can take it away. Yeah, there we go. We have plus 12 and then minus 4. This actually should be a plus 8 on that. And then when you cut everything down, you would still have a plus there. So it should have been 9 plus 4 square root of 3 over 2. Number 6 should be 6 plus 4 square root of 2 minus 3 square root of 10 minus 4 square root of 5. And then number 7 is 3 plus 2 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 6 plus 4 square root of 3. Number 8 should be 36 plus 9 square root of 5 plus 8 square root of 3 plus 2 square root of 15 over 22. And 9 is 28 minus 7 square root of 2 plus 8 square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 6. 10 is 6 plus 3 square root of 3 plus 2 square root of 6 plus 3 square root of 2. 11 is negative 4 minus 4 square root of 2 minus square root of 3 minus square root of 6. Notice that that one ends up with a negative 4 in the denominator, and we can cut that down by 2 in that case. Actually, this is not the answer. This is the answer here. It should be 4 plus 4 square root of 2 plus square root of 3 minus, or plus square root of 6 over a negative 2, and then you would have to go back and change the sign of everything to get rid of the negative 2. So imagine we had a minus, 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 and then a minus, but this one down here becomes plus on the bottom. And number 12 is 12 plus 3 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 6 plus square root of 3 over 14. 13 is 30 minus 5 square root of 3 minus 6 square root of 2 plus square root of 6 over 33. 14 is 55 plus 11 square root of 5 minus 5 square root of 6 minus square root of 30 over 20. And then 15 is 36 plus 4 square root of 6 plus 9 square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 3. To simplify radical expressions, example 1. 3 plus 2 square root of 2 over 4 minus 3 square root of 3. There is nothing to simplify right off the top. So you're going to have to go through and multiply the top and the bottom by 4 plus 3 square root of 3. And you'll start on the top with your multiplication. You have to do 3 times 4 first. The 3 times 4 is going to be 12. Stay with the 3 and do 3 times 3 square root of 3. 3 times square root of 3 is going to be 9 square root of 3. You're now finished with the 3. Go to the 2 square root of 2. Multiply it by 4. You're multiplying the 2 on the outside by the 4. That becomes 8. The square root of 2 just stays along. So it's 8 square root of 2. And then last it'll be 2 square root of 2 times 3 square root of 3. You multiply the 2 and the 3 from the outsides. 2 times 3 is 6. And then you multiply the square root of 2 times square root of 3. That becomes square root of 6. On the bottom you use the trick we learned a couple of days ago. Since it's a difference of 2 squares, or what it will be a difference of 2 squares, you have 4 squared for 16. Square this item. You do it pieces at a time. 3 squared is 9. And then square root of 3 squared is just 3. So 16 minus 27 is what you end up with. And 16 minus 27 is a negative 11. That goes on the bottom. Now look through the radical items 3, 2, and 6. Can't be simplified. You have 12, 9, 8, and 6 over a negative 11. That can't be simplified. The only other thing you can do is change the sign of everything so you can get rid of the negative sign on the bottom. So it makes it a negative 12 minus 9 square root of 3 minus 8 square root of 2 minus 6 square root of 6 over 11. That would be your final answer. Example 2. In this case, you have square root of 6 and square root of 3. They can't be simplified. So all you can do to start with is multiply the top and the bottom by 2 minus 3 square root of 3. Start on the top for your multiplication, and you'll have 8 times 2 to start with. 8 times 2 is 16. And then 8 times a minus 3 square root of 3, which will be minus 24 square root of 3. You are finished with the 8. Now go to the 3 square root of 6. Multiply it by 2. 3 times 2 is 6, and the square root of 6 just stays with it. Multiply this by this. The sign is going to be minus. You'll have 3 times 3, which is 9. And then square root of 6 times square root of 3 is going to be square root of 18. On the bottom, 2 squared is 4. 3 square root of 3 squared is going to be 9 times 3, which is 27. We just had that. That's a negative 23. Alright, look back at the radical terms, 3, 6, and 18. We have to simplify that square root of 18. So mark that out, and it breaks up as 9 times square root of 9 square root of 2. Square root of 9 is 3. So you'll have 27 square root of 2 in its place. The other thing that can be changed is the negative sign on the bottom. Just change the sign of everything. Negative 16 plus 24 square root of 3 minus 6 square root of 6 plus 27 square root of 2 over a positive 23. To get the 9 square root of 18, you break up the square root of 18 as first the highest perfect square that comes out of 18, which is 9. And then you have to multiply 9 by 2 to get 18. So you end up with the square root of 9 being 3, poorly written. And then 9 times 3 is 27. 27 square root of 2. Alright, on this one we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by 3 plus 2 square root of 6 over 3 plus 2 square root of 6. And when we multiply, we get 12 plus 8 square root of 6 minus 15 square root of 2 minus 10 square root of 12. All of that over 9 minus 4 times 6. That would be 9 minus 24. That would be a negative 15. Alright, so let's go back and check. We have 6 to 12. We have to simplify that one. 12 breaks up as 4 and 3. So you would end up with a 20 square root of 3 on the end. We have 12, 8, 15, 10, or not 10 anymore, but now it's 20. And over 15, you can't reduce those, but we can get rid of the negative sign. So we can have negative 12 minus 8 square root of 6 minus 15 square root of 2 plus 20 square root of 3. And that should have been a plus right there because we're changing the signs. We changed that one, this one, and in front of the 15 is a plus. And plus, right, and then on the bottom we have 15. On all of these problems, each of these numbers have a sign in front of it, whether it's written or not. That one's plus, this one has a minus, this one is plus, this one is plus. When you multiply this by this, you have two positives, so the sign is plus. When you multiply this by this, two positives, the sign is plus. When you go from here to here, you have minus plus. So the signs are opposite, you have a minus sign. And the same here, minus plus. Signs are opposite, you have a minus sign. On this problem, it would be a good idea to simplify first. The top is okay, but on the bottom, we can have the square root of 8 breaking up as 4 and 2. That would leave you with 10 square root of 2. Now multiply the top and the bottom by 4 plus 10 square root of 2. On the top, when you multiply, you will get 4 plus 10 square root of 2 plus 8 square root of 2, and then plus, you're multiplying 2 square root of 2's together, and that will give you 2. You'll have 2 times 10, which is 20. So times another 2 is 40. On the bottom, 5 squared is 25. Actually, we're not using that one, we're using this one. 10 squared is 100. When you square that, you get a 2. So 100 times 2 is 200. Square that to get 16. 16 minus 200 is a negative 184. So that goes on the bottom. Now check what you have. We have, for the radical elements, a square root of 2 and a square root of 2. Those can be added together here, 10 and 8. And then you have 4 and 40 that can be added together. So if you add this and this, you get 44. And then add this term with this one to get 18. Square root of 2. On the bottom, you have a negative 184. At the very least, you can cut this, this, and this in half. So if we do that, we get 22 plus 9 square root of 2 over a negative 92. You won't be able to simplify any further after that except to change the sign of everything to eliminate the negative on the bottom. 2 square root of 2 times 10 square root of 2. If you multiply 2 times 10, you come up with 20. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. That's how we get 40.